Oops. Hey, welcome to Talk About Pink Club, your tri-monthly. No.
Your tri-monthly tangent
Your
time. There you
Oh,
go.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I have had a glitch in the system. All right. That's because of that. All right. Welcome to Talk About Pink Club, your tri-monthly tangent from the world around you. I'm Rick Strohmeyer. I got 99 problems and a bucket full of Cthulhu's is one of them. We are joined by
Mad Hattress, who's in her Taylor Swift folklore era at the moment.
There. Did you go?
Swifties understand that. It's fine. I went to the movie. Yeah, I did. I did. It was
Where is the best
I was by
break?
myself. Oh, I didn't.
Well, no, you weren't. You were in a theater full of people. Happy to see you.
No one was there. Oh well, yeah, concert, sure. I was like, wait, no one was there, and I loved it.
So it was an empty theater. You empty theater
yeah.
the Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah, it was at 2:45, and the show in the movie theater is literally about to it's about to leave. I think today was the last day, and it was 2:45 on Thursday when all the kids are in school. So everyone who already was they already went to it, and there was an older lady in the front row, but I was singing my fucking lungs out. So at one point she turns around like this, the hard the hard turn. And I was like, well, get over it, lady. It's a fucking concert. So she gets to the 10
But it's a movie too.
Oh, well, everybody was literally... No, everybody was literally singing at every other show, and this is how it goes. Get over it. If she went to any other one, she would have had the same thing. Sorry that she thought she was getting any different.
But it was you and one other person in the theater.
Sorry she thought she was getting any different. When I bought my ticket 5 minutes beforehand, there was no one in the thing. I selected it.
There was half the expectation was half the people would be making noise and the other half was not.
So well,
you shit on this lady. You shit on this lady's one concert experience in a movie theater.
I also think that she wasn't supposed to be there because when I bought my ticket, she wasn't selected, and I was literally right there and walked in when it started. Either way, though, she walked out during the 10-minute version of All Too Well because I was singing it, and I was like, she don't want to hear me singing for 10 minutes. And then I was pleasantly happy.
So you chased one old lady out of the theater. This is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I chased no one out of Sweeney Todd, if that makes you feel any better.
No, it doesn't make look, 2 wrongs don't make a right. 3 lefts do, but two wrongs do not make a right.
She didn't have to leave. She could have asked me, hey, can you sing a little bit softer? I would have probably listened. She just did a real hard turn at me and looked at me like I was an asshole and then left. And I was like, all right, well.
Well, I hope she got her money back because of your unruly behavior.
Yeah.
I'm
telling Trevor you said that it was unruly behavior because he loves Taylor Swift too, and he's gonna be like,
yes, but you
he's gonna do
you were sharing the experience with somebody who probably had the same idea as you about when was the ideal time to not have people in there. And so she's like, hey.
But my idea was when was there enough time to not have people so I could sing by myself.
So she would get to be able to do this just like my dad would my dad before he long before he died would sit in his shop at nights and just listen to live concerts on in his shop and just sit back and be the only one. He wouldn't sing and dance, but he would smoke and enjoy it, right? And this is probably what this old lady, I assume this lady was older than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she probably wanted to have like this live concert experience and just have the sounds just woo, woo, pump throughout and have the whole complete surround sound with the complete sensory input of just like the idea of being there without having to deal with the person. Not necessarily a person in the theater, but a person at all. Like she could be like one of these agoraphobic people who don't want to go hang out in a concert and be like, I love Taylor Swift, but I do not want to sit around 10,000 other people. And then when she
You're
sees
not gonna
like,
make me feel bad, Rick. She should have known all too
I'm
well.
not, but
what
I'm going
this
to,
was
I'm going
be.
to, hey, Dylan, I'm going to paint a scenario that just says like, hey, maybe when this lady glowered at you, you shouldn't turn up the volume of that and be like,
Turn it up. I just like I
maybe,
just didn't.
maybe you being a turd, right? It's like, imagine.
I wasn't screaming. I wasn't being loud. Because like I don't sing that like loud in the first place, like naturally. So like when she turned around, I was like, oh my bad. Like I didn't really think I was singing loud in the first place because I don't sing loud. So
Like,
I didn't turn it. I didn't even turn it up. I just didn't stop.
Remember a time before the internet. I'm going to date myself a little bit. So one of my favorite comedians who has not aged well is Dave Attell, who just very much tells off-color jokes. And he used to have this bit that said, I like to play Girls Gone Wild backwards because it looks like they've learned their lesson.
Oh no, I'm not. I haven't learned anything. Nope, not gonna happen.
This is the idea. Maybe Nicole's gonna learn something. I don't know. Maybe.
Nope. Not with this one.
Now,
I also did a very nice thing though, and I gave a bunch of girls free popcorn because I got a bucket, like one of those cool buckets that come with the fancy ones that say like Taylor Swift or whatever. And the lady's like, do you want the popcorn in it? And I was like, I don't even want popcorn. And she's like, oh, do you want it on the side? And then there were like two girls like college age maybe like behind me, and I was like, do you want the popcorn? And they were like, oh, really? And the lady was like, it comes with free refills. And they were like, oh. And I'm like, please take the popcorn. Take the popcorn. I don't
How much was the popcorn versus a ticket?
Well, I mean, it was a metal bucket. It's like this big, and it's like a metal like tin bucket, and it was like $14.
Okay.
Not like you know how much it costs to go to the Era store next year in Indianapolis next October, $2,000 on StubHub. And you know where the seats are? The highest subsection you could possibly find, $2,000. I told Ray yesterday I love her. I was like, I love you so much, but I'm not doing that ever. I wouldn't even like. You could roll me over hot coals before I am like, here you go. Here's my credit card for $4,000 to bleed out of my nose listening to Taylor Swift.
You just don't love her enough, apparently.
Oh, she's gonna say that. She said this.
I hope she's watching. You're like, oh, see, Nicole, Rick knows that you don't love her enough, and that's gonna be the thing. Like, that's it. All right. So, what are you drinking tonight?
I actually have two things I took a nap before this because I was just whatever. I got home at 12 something with no heat in my house. The broiler was broken. It was a very long night because like the heater also like the plug like poop like almost caught on fire. So at like 2 a.m, I'm like smelling burnt like electricity. Okay. So I have caffeine in the form of iced tea, but I also have water in the form of water.
Whoa. Water in the form of
just I didn't want coffee, but I needed something to keep me like. No, why do you have to say that?
What?
Moist.
What about it?
Like it doesn't. Isn't that like the universal rule that word is just like not to be like randomly thrown into a conversation for no reason because it's gross?
No, it's not my rule.
Oh, well, I
Why?
think everybody kind of knows like moist is just ugh. It's just a gross word. I don't know.
From now on, my intro is going to be I'm Rick Strohmeyer, and I'm moist.
I'm just gonna like back out, come back in right when you're welcome to talk about Paint Club. I'm gonna go click and then come back in.
I dare you to try.
Or mute it. I'm just gonna be like, wait, can you see if I mute myself?
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna like this the second
Moist.
the second you throw this shit out of my ears.
Cool.
You have COVID? You
What?
have
After
COVID?
missing the last show, having COVID. Hey, that's why. That's one of the reasons we didn't have the show last week. Sorry, buddy.
So he when he missed the show when it was just like you, and I wasn't on it, he was like, I don't want Rick to think this was last week. He thought that you weren't doing it. He thought that you did the show and he missed it, and I was just like, I forgot what it was. If he'll have to text it because he's better at remembering specifics. But he was so upset because he was like, I don't want Rick to think that I only watch it because of you. And I'm like,
Oh, I know he doesn't because he's done it when you're not there.
I know. I was just
He's
like,
participated in a
it was
live
just so
stream.
funny.
It's fun. It's fun.
I thought it was so sweet.
The show feels a little different without you, but the show can go on. Yeah, no, like I had COVID last week. It was like,
yeah,
it was a big old mess on both sides, and yeah, we're just like,
I had a funeral. He had COVID. You have COVID.
I don't go on the drama of on the internet of why we don't do it. I'm just like, hey, if I like worst case scenarios, I just say, hey, fucking weather is preventing us from going live, and I don't feel like I need to explain like what the dealings of what's going on of why we can't go. And I appreciate when people are like, hey, missed it, love come back. I'm like, thank you, but like that typed out internet airing of grievances is not my thing, so I don't like to do it. Oh, like well, there you go. It's you gotta trust the people you put your moist parts in, Dylan.
Oh my god! I'm just gonna leave.
It's just that's the way it is. What?
I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna be like, Rick's gonna break me at some point.
Nah, dude. So I would like to, before we get into other parts of it, I'd like to show off a couple things. My silly coil, which is chock full of liquid moist, and that's cool.
And then this is we both have silly coils.
And then this is part of my dry brush system, which is a little sponge, and you better believe it, it's moist.
Okay, can we stop asking the question, Dylan? Just enough.
Do you not like the word moist? Dude! Okay, so let's see.
Enough. No, it's enough. It's enough.
Dylan says he's kidding, and then do you not like the word moist? Oh, I don't know. Dude, it's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a what? A 7-point word in Scrabble. So like it's not the greatest, but it's there, and that's cool. All right. Nicole's probably thinking I'm doing a moist song. It's cool. Like
no.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. All right. So anyway,
I know you're mouthing it. I'm still just like no.
So let's see.
Oh, I have water. I hate washing dishes. Okay, yes, water. Good. Wait, that's water?
Water. Yeah, this one's water. This one is
it looks
limeade.
It looks like juice like through a cup.
This is water. this is limeade because my throat is a little scratchy from all the allergens that I picked up today while helping move stuff. So I just need something to add a little moisture into my throat.
I'm gonna just jump out the window. But I'm gonna walk up the stairs to the attic and jump out of the window since I live on the first
Funny
floor
enough,
now.
I got to play Scrabble with Alicia's dad this weekend, and we played 4 games.
I
I
swear
was
to
batting
fucking
500.
God if you do it.
Oh, so anyway, we were playing Scrabble, and I was batting 500, which is that's a pretty good average for me for a weekend. And QWERTY is a word, a Scrabble legal word, QWERTY. You don't need a you don't need a U for it. It works.
So
and
the keyboard system
Yeah.
is considered okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
actually
QWERTY is a word.
know.
It's awesome,
Nope,
right?
okay.
And it's a Q word that you don't need a U for. So I kept fluctuating. Let's see, it's a 6-letter word. I kept fluctuating 4 of the fucking letters, always with the Q, W, and E. And I was like, and I'm like, with the ability to randomize your letters, I was like, I should be able to fucking pull the other 2 letters I need for that. And I did not. So like I ended up eating that game because like my desire to just be cute and clever. Because cute and clever never actually wins the game, right? But yeah. But I ended up scoring 10 points with moist, so I was all right with that. And then
Are we done harassing me?
Oh yeah, we have the same reaction. Oh, like yeah.
No, touching dishes, like cleaning them, I have an issue.
That's like I started developing that transgression after working my last couple years working in the autism program. It's just like the more and more slimy and gross things were, it's just like I don't want to touch. And like so of course going like kids making things slimy is like I just don't want to fucking touch it. So I'm always wearing gloves and stuff. I'm always putting on a new pair of gloves at work. And of course right now, we are dealing with 2 dogs, 2 different digestive issues, which is wonderful. Like one for each end. All right. Like before I got COVID, the weekend, Alicia.
This is my face of how I feel for you.
Oh, good. So I won't describe it with amazing words. But like, so right before Alicia's
I feel
grandma,
awful for you. That's disgusting.
Right before Alicia's grandma died, because the dogs were here staying with me, I found that Munin was chewing on a tooth.
Oh,
tooth fragment.
Whose?
Hers. So, like, I ended up taking a picture of it, sending it to Alicia, and be like, not to worry, yeah. And so, so she just got the tooth taken care of Tuesday, and it wasn't a tooth. She got teeth taken care of. So they found 2 teeth that had to be pulled. So she is like having to have soft food. And then Puka wants to eat everything she gets, and then she doesn't want her food. She wants to eat what Puka's eating. And it's like, okay. And then Puka is on some type of is on a medication, and we're now having to change dog food because their go-to dog food is no longer going to be distributed in the States, which means we are going through the joy of finding a food that will not irritate his digestive tract, because Shar-Peis have their Shar-Peis digestive system is a delicate ecosystem. And so I have been enjoying for the past 3 days waking up every hour and a half to make sure he goes outside so that, I'm just going to call him my little puddle maker. And you can, yeah.
I'm not walking away because that grossed me out. I need to get my gold paint. I could still hear you disgustingness.
But like we came home from our birthday / anniversary dinner on Friday to find that we were gone too long, and I ended up taking charge to get it all cleaned up. And at the end of the day, in the end of the night, with everything, I was like, I told Alicia, I was like, I knew I was going to be good at something in this world. I had no idea I was going to be good at cleaning up poop and so much of it. And I'm like, this is kind of why I quit my last job. So yeah, so we had to pull over twice on the way up to her or way back from her folks' place because Puka. But we didn't have an accident inside her parents' house, so that's the small victory for this weekend. And then the other cool victory is that like we ended up taking my truck up there for a couple reasons. One, to help haul garbage, but Alicia wanted her grandfather's desk. So we have taken some pains over the past couple weeks to make sure that there's room in the house, cleaned out room for the desk, and we ended up bringing it home with us, along with hauling garbage and some various other things. So to illustrate how well Alicia and I, how many commonalities Alicia and I have, we both had an amazing connection with our grandfathers, and apparently we both wanted to have and managed to get our grandfather's preferred work surfaces. So my grandfather's work table is in the garage, not being used as much as I imagine it would, and we just brought her grandfather's desk home so she can use that all there. So it's pretty neat that we have. We both think our grandfathers were the most amazing grandpas in the world, and we will not. We're not going to compare to see which one was better, because we both know they were great. So yeah.
Dylan had a really cool grandpa. I don't think I ever got a chance to meet him, but him and my dad knew each other.
It is going to make you feel better. So like, let's just say you can end watching the show now and say like, well, thank God I don't have the shit issues that his dogs do. And that'll make you feel better too, because like.
And if you do have them, don't tell us.
Well, yeah. Well, you'll eat very wet food that's softened to a very moist state to make sure that you don't have to chew.
I'm really gonna hang up the phone.
And then, or you could just have a very liquid experience the other way. But so that being said, 20. Ooh, I'm sorry, you have.
I'm gonna hang the fuck up. I swear to God, y'all are trying to push me.
So yeah. So all right.
I do not have the capacity for this yet.
So let's see. It's been a couple weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we talked to each other and said hey to everybody out there and whatnot. So I wanted to do a review of one of the event I did before COVID. So I'll let you go first about like what have you been doing lately? Because I think my list might be slightly long-ish. Black Nicole is coming out. I don't know what Black Nicole is.
Don't ask, please God, don't ask, because it's not okay. Anyways, Jesus Christ.
Have you made anything?
Yeah, some sort of. I don't know. I was gonna say, well, last week was Jen's funeral, so there's that, and I've had the undertaking of her collection to be sold, so I've been dealing with that. And then like teaching, and then we went to the play yesterday and all that shit. But I'm right now. Well, first what I did is I polished these so I can mold up. Wow, as I try to hold them with other things in my hand. Why don't I just put this down, you jackass? Like different sizes. So the big one that I had at 5 points, a little bit smaller. And then this one is a little bit bigger than the one that JFO makes. Because the one JFO makes, I think, is like maybe like here down.
Oh, good shit. Okay.
Because I have to figure out which one, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be this one that's going to Clutter's Unwrap show.
Oh yeah, I have to get that shit set up.
So I had to make the mold so I can cast her. So I had to do that. I polished the shit out of the and I got more resin. So I'm gonna get back to the resin casting now that like everything has slowed down a little bit, I guess. As I drop everything on the floor. And then I started painting the Lost Link figures. Like usually they're painted, but I asked her if she can give them to me unpainted because I wanted to paint so these donate. This one specifically donates to I forgot what animal shelter. I think they're probably like local one, but it's a cat. And its name is Foster. It doesn't have the eyes in it. So I want to paint these two to look like my little shitheads. So we'll see if I even get to those tonight. Because I bought also this whale, the figure that they have. Because I've had this stupid idea, and I told you about this a while ago. Do you remember my idea of the gold whale?
Yeah.
The Midas whale?
Well, there you go.
So I'm working on this little gold whale now. But he's gonna have like different kind of like line work and texture and stuff like that. So he's not just like, here's a gold whale,
right?
So that was something. And then I primed. Where is the head of the thing? I primed one of the CZ's pumpkins.
Oh, nice.
Because I electroplated. Jesus, no! I soldered stones so I could put them underneath, like hanging from his hand like a lantern.
Okay.
Like little like crystal stones. So I was going to do something like that, and then I have another one, and I was thinking about putting it with like Christmas lights or something like that, and making him like a Santa pumpkin, like Jack Skellington, like Santa. Because he's already a pumpkin, so I was thinking like a Santa Pumpkin King type vibe. That's not for the show. That's just for the holidays, like to make something for like it's Christmas. Part of me wants to make a rabbi toy, but I was like, I don't really think that that's gonna sell as well.
You should make dreidel Christmas ornaments.
Tell me I won't go. Tell me I won't go.
I just think that's like, I can't get away with that.
I can,
but I think that's fucking hilarious. Like,
I can because
you can give me a commission, but I think you should make dreidel Christmas ornaments,
like big dreidels.
Yeah, like whatever
now
size a Christmas ornament would be is a dreidel. Like that's fucking awesome.
Now I'm gonna go sculpt a dreidel.
I'm doing
and I'm gonna sing the song while doing. I'll be like, dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay, because it'll be made of clay, so it won't be a lie.
It's fucking dope. Oh, they're all like that. Okay, cool.
We actually learned about Hanukkah when I was in church, in my church growing up. So I thought that was maybe just probably my grandma doing that.
Okay.
What is that?
Oh, fuck. Oh, there it is. So I ended up Bean gave me these bootlegs last year at Decon, and I'm going to there we go. I'm going to send Clutter 6 in different colors for ornaments. So like I just got accepted to another two events back to back in December, and like I think I have like I have a dozen of these. And so anyway, so 6 of these will go to Clutter, and the rest will go go with me, and make me a couple bucks. But yeah, they're just these goofy bootleg things that she made, and she didn't want them anymore. And I'm like, I'll take them, and I told her I'm going to make them into Christmas ornaments. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. And so, but let's see. I ended up.
Why didn't your dad want a Star of David Christmas ornament on the tree? Jesus was a Jew.
Yeah, dude, you should make a Star of David as your topper, like an angel, and then dreidel Christmas trees.
You think I won't? You think I
that's
really
fucking.
won't though?
I'm not saying that as a dare for you to not. I'm telling you as a suggestion from one artist to another, to somebody who has cultural ties to the Jewish community, that would be fucking hilarious as an artist. I'm not doing it as a game of chicken. I'm simply
You're like,
trying
it's
to
not chicken because I know you'll do it anyways.
I am simply giving you an idea that I think is well within your wheelhouse for you to execute successfully in the next 2 weeks. This is what I'm doing. I'm not doing it.
The show says not to have anything that's like Christmas related because it doesn't sell well. But I think that would be so funny that I would have to.
But like, you don't have to sell it there either. Like, you could do it like even on your own fucking store. Like, just make a dozen,
anything from me.
Stage them up on a fucking tree, and be like, here you go. Like, it's not a fucking.
I actually
dare.
did buy a bunch of like stages. I did buy like from the Target, like when you walk in that whole bullseye section where it's like $1 to $5. I did buy like a bunch of like little staging things for like to take pictures of like this stuff during like the Christmas season because they were like literally $1, $3, and I made a whole little setup that's like a fucking winter wonderland for less than $10.
Hi, David. welcome to the show.
Hi, David. So you know why I love David having his full name on here? Because in Prime was looking to send him something and he couldn't figure out what his Instagram name was, and he put his full name on like Instagram story saying, "Can David stop in? Please message me." And I was like, I know who that is, and I only know his last name because.
Perfect. All right.
I said that to Dave. I'm like, thanks for having your last name up there because I was able to have you get tracked down.
There you go. Hope it helps.
Cheers to Paint. It did. Cheers to Paint Club for making something work.
There you go. We make lots of shit work. Come on, dude.
Okay, for making something else that it wasn't about us work.
Bonus help. There you go.
Bonus help.
There you go. All right. So let's see.
I feel like
in the last 2 weeks, I have not painted much. Oh yeah. No, I painted this. Let's see if I get the share. So like in the middle of COVID, while dealing with bullshit, I finally received this. I was supposed to get this 3 days beforehand. And so I got this. So this is Martian Toys sent this to me for a show next week, like a Black Friday event. And so this is the Chamaco by Mr. Matoti. And let's see, there's the front, there's the back. And then boom. So that is that. And that's fucking rad. And I was very pleased the way that came out. Wow. Super electric. And yeah, in my screen share. Yeah, so that is going to be, that should be in their possession already. So what the only annoying thing about that toy is that it got to St. Paul on Thursday night. It did not get into my hands until Tuesday. Until Wednesday, the day after voting. So, really fucking annoying for it to hang out for 5 fucking days, to not have it in my hands, and then
you can work on it.
And then it was a two-day paint job, 2-day turnaround from cleaning, priming to painting, and then varnishing it on the 3rd day so that 2 days later I could put it in the mail. So like, yeah, after voting, boom. I put it in the mail last Wednesday. So Not bad, not bad turnaround. I let it sit for 2.5 days after varnishing to make sure that it fully cured. So, yeah, like turned out fun. I ended up asking Aaron to send me two so I can then because I always like to paint paint two of a new platform because the first one's to fuck around, the second one's to find out, and so um, yeah. And that ended up it ended up being super. Like I was asked to do this because speed was of the essence, um, and yeah, so I'm pretty stoked about that. The other thing, let's see, I've during Halloween we ended up having a couple guests over. I know Halloween we already had a show before after Halloween, but anyway, after Halloween we had or during Halloween we had a couple guys come over and watch Rocky Horror with us, and I was painting that night so I could get stuff for the two of the because I had back-to-back events right after Halloween and got stuff painted there. And let's see, the first of the two events I do not remember the names. Um, the one was a pre oh no one of them was right before Halloween, but one was a pre-Christmas Halloween event, and then the week after, which is why I was painting, was the Art and Gift Expo in Minneapolis. And the pre-Christmas post the Christmas Halloween one was pretty good to me. They ended up it was at a nursery at in a ritzier suburb of the Twin Cities, and a greenhouse, and it was pretty warm there because like we ended up getting some snow outside, and inside the greenhouse you'd never know. And it was very bright, and my blacklight displays kind of sucked because there was so much natural light pouring in all over the place that it washed out my brand new blacklight displays, which was a little disappointing, but that's on me because I didn't test it fully. The next week they ended up looking a lot better inside regular convention light, which because of what the hell the Brooklyn Expo Center, we all got spoiled by how nice it is to have a very well lit by nature by sun event. That's always amazing. It's nice to see the passage of time. And then I was at the Art and Gift Expo 2 weeks ago, and funny enough, Plastic Pizza was 2 floors up from me at the same convention center, because that weekend there were 3 events in the convention center. There was where I was at the Minneapolis Art and Gift Expo, a cardiologist convention right up on the next floor, and then above them was Twin City Con, which I've not been able to trade notes with Jordan since the event. I didn't even know Jordan was coming to Minneapolis until seeing Plastic Pizza's Instagram feed the day of setup, and I was like, dude, what the heck? And I know he's busy as fuck, but I was like, dude, what the heck? And both times I was able to poke my head in, which was like the very beginning of the event on Saturday and Sunday. He was nowhere to be found. So, but they had a cool setup, 2 booths, I think. It was pretty big. But like going downstairs, back at my side of the story, because I have no idea how else Plastic Pizza did. I should get Jordan on and see how it went.
They drove to New York right after.
I know they did. I talked to a dude who was like having his skateboard art there. Yeah, no, he's had a crazy schedule, but no. So Friday was set up, and Friday was slow as fuck. Like it was slow, and I made a couple dollars, but I was like, man, I hope this is not an indication of how the weekend's going to go. And on Saturday, it was pretty good, except like I have complained or talked about, shared stories about rude ass people in various other events that I've gone to. I've never said like, you Ruth blah blah blah, you're fucking rude. I kind of wish I did. But no, I had some weird ass rude people in other events, and I didn't encounter any rudeness last year. But Saturday, it seemed like the rude fucks came out. The rude fucks came out and didn't want to spend money. All right. So anybody who came by the booth this past time and was happy to shake hands, take a business card, etc., follow me on Instagram. Thank you. This rant is not about you. But like, so Twin City Con was upstairs.
Everybody else.
And it's fine. But like, I heard it once or twice on Friday, but I heard it a lot on Saturday of rude people saying, "Oh, you should be upstairs." And I knew why they would say it, but I'm like, but I didn't know why they felt so comfortable to criticize my business model or why I was where I was, because there's something that may look like what my booth looks like up there, right? Like the whole gift expo itself, it's pretty diverse. All right. And the reason I got in last year was because the person running the event said, "Oh, well, your stuff's unique and nobody else has anything like it." And that's why she let me in, because she thought I would do okay. And, you know, she blew enough wind in my sails to convince me that I should go there. And she was right. Like I had a great time. I put a lot of toys in hands, and I remember that. I got it. And yeah, and I had a great time. So why should this be any different? And I did. I had a great time, but you know, I probably dealt with about, I want to say, let's say 15. I'm sure the number's higher, of rude old ladies that just thought like they like, clearly I have a welcoming look upon myself that just says, I'm going to be a shithead and I'm going to talk to this person and be a shithead too. Like that's the look I had, apparently. So like, "Oh, well, you should be upstairs." And oh yeah. And so after the third, fourth, so anyway, after the third or fourth time of hearing that, I was like, okay. Dude, I didn't even say moist. Why is she gone? I bet she's looking at something on her fucking phone. Oh. All right. Welcome back to Moist Talk. I'm your host, Rick Strohmeyer, and we're following.
That was weird because like it showed you frozen, and then all of a sudden it was telling me I was gone. I was like, okay.
So let's see. So yeah, apparently I had to look that old rude fucks thought it was okay to be rude to me, and so after the third or fourth time of hearing like, "Well, you should be upstairs," I'm like, "Oh. Why is that?" "Oh, you know, it looks like you belong up there." And I'm like, "Did you know the booth upstairs is twice as much as the booth here?" "Well, no." "So why do you think I should be up there and spend twice as much to sell stuff?" "Well, I don't know." So that was like the start of the conversation. Wow. It's like, "Oh, apparently you're an ignorant fuck because you don't know what you're talking about." That was my takeaway from that first bit of it. And then it started going with, "Well, you should be up there." I'm like, "Why do you assume that?" "Oh, well, because things look like yours upstairs." I'm like, "I promise you, nothing looks like my stuff up there, but you're assuming at a glance." Or it was, "Oh, did you go in?" "Well, no." "Then how do you know?" Yeah. So it was just like,
what ponytail?
It's the ponytail. It's the ponytail. All right, cool. It's the ponytail.
But what ponytail?
Mine, dummy. Mine, dude.
When do you have a ponytail?
Sometimes.
I don't think
Like
I ever noticed it because you always have a bandana on, so I never like
I
look at the
do.
back of your head like that.
Sometimes I put it up when I know I'm moving or when I have to be active and I don't want it sweaty.
I don't think I've ever really
Some,
noticed that.
well, that's there you go. So I was like, I don't know. I was just fed up with having rude people talk to me. So I was like, if you're going to be rude, you're not going to walk away just being like, I got to say this to somebody. You're going to walk away a little butthurt. And like, and one time I had you should be up there because, were you going to go up there and buy anything? Well, no. Are you going to buy anything here? No. Okay. And then I'm like, hit the bricks. And then like one of the last ones with that line of conversations, I'm not here to spend money. I can't afford to right now. Blah blah blah. The economy is bad. I'm like, bullshit. And this old lady had her kid or had her daughter with me. I'm assumed daughter, because the daughter looked my age, and so I'm assuming, and I'm like, and I said, bullshit. The economy's okay. You were just believing bullshit on TV. Well, you can tell that to my portfolio. I'm like, what is your portfolio made out of? Well, it's stocks. Right. And stocks are based on faith, just like our money. So when you have the assholes up in Congress saying that, everything's bad, people want to believe that just on faith. And that's what's fucking us up, is when shitheads want to believe the fuckers who don't belong in our government.
That's why my grandmother had money under the mattress.
And this fucking daughter is laughing. And the lady left, blushed, and the daughter bought a sticker from me. So I'm like, yeah, daughter. So I had my booth set up to where like you would see something shiny and potentially manipulative, and then you just move down from like the magnets to the doodles to the stickers, and the sticker display spins. The doodles you rifle through, and so like by the time this lady started her barrage, the daughter's already just kind of thumbing through my doodles because like I think she just didn't want to fucking listen to her mom, or I'm going to assume that. But like by the time I'm yelling at her mom about fucking representatives trying to tank the economy, she's spinning the fucking sticker display, and she's already picked out one of my best sellers.
No.
So like the lady leaves flustered, and the lady's like, $3, right? Yeah. And she gives me 3 crumpled up dollars, and I'm okay with that. And I was like, fuck. And then Saturday, so Saturday was okay. And then 4 o'clock rolled around, and somebody bought a $200. The highest price item I had was $200. So I had anywhere between $3 to $200. That was my range. And somebody like had come by earlier, looked at one of the book nooks, looked at the small one, looked at the big one. That was a Cthulhu, and left. Then he came back and he like picks up the little one. He's like, oh, I can't decide which one I want to buy. And I'm like, okay. And he leaves. And then like 4 o'clock rolls around. He just comes in and gives me 2 $100 bills and says, hey, I decided I want that one since it isn't sold yet. I'm like, I've decided that you want it. Like, you're correct. You do want it. And yeah, just fucking decided, like, I think in total I spent 2 minutes talking to him with all his trips, and he just decided, I'm going to pick that up. Like, great.
I like that. That makes me happy.
And then by the end of Saturday, I had this figure in my head about how much I wanted to make for the weekend. And by the end of Saturday, I was like, cool. If Sunday is just as shitty as Friday, then I'll make my minimum. If it's better than Friday, then I'll do better, and I'll be pretty stoked about that. 9. So we all get there. We're there. 10 o'clock. Doors open by before 10:30. These two ladies showed up. They both had a beer in hand. Because it's Minnesota, we love fucking day drinking and getting waffles and then drinking, or getting pancakes and drinking, or eggs Benedict and drinking. And so there's a lot of good places near there. And anyway, but they were selling beer, and so they walk by. This one lady sees the Medusa book nook that I had staged.
I love that thing.
In the booth, and she's like, I want that. I'm like, I want you to want that. And so she like within the first half hour, I sold another $200 piece, and I was very happy about that. And the day just kind of went like that. And so like it was without a doubt like the best event net. Yeah, net, right? And it's the end result. It was my best event this year. Like if I didn't have all the travel costs of DesignerCon, I would have said DesignerCon last year was my best event for the year. But all that travel ate into it. This travel just was less than a tank of gas. So this
if
was
one more
like
person asked me if I'm going to Decon this year, I'm going to fucking kill myself too. Are you going? Are you going? Where are you going?
I can't because I have a local event. Because I just got accepted within the last day and a half. I just got accepted to the two events that I've been waiting on. So I have one on like the weekend of the 9th, which is that one's in St. Paul. It's at the Plaza Theater, which should be a pretty swanky venue. And then I have one at the Minneapolis Fairgrounds, which has an event every fucking weekend. So people like if people are in tune with wanting to go there, like it's cool. So yeah, I get to do that. And the people who are running both the events I just got accepted on to run the Halloween one I went to. And so it feels like I'm cool. I'm in this company's stable, and for lack of a better analogy, and that's cool because they run one in June that I wanted to be in last year and didn't get in, and so I think like now that I have my foot in the door, I might get into. But they also are running an event at the Sculpture Garden in Minneapolis, and I really want to be there. It's right at the edge of it's at the Minneapolis Institute of Art. Yeah, and I want to be there, so I'm gonna. As soon as their application status goes there, yeah, like whatever's happening whatever's happening in May, that one takes priority. And I just got sent the application for collected. I don't either. But historically, May's beautiful weather here.
I can still hear you. I gotta go get red paint. Sorry.
That's fine. People love being out after a long winter, so it's great. And then I just got the application for Collected Con, and I need to fill that out. Because that's in April, I think. So, yeah, I'm gonna Artist Alley Collected Con because I have no idea how much the whole event's gonna cost. By virtue of like what travel to Chicago is gonna cost. I've driven it before. I know like gas is gonna be, but like I have no idea what hotels and shit's gonna cost in that area. So exciting. Yeah, I may just have to see like who else is going to Collecticon, and I'll split a hotel room with them. Other than that, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go to it regardless if they like accept my thing or not.
So,
So
yeah.
we can
But
we could share.
what is our color of the month again?
It's that like cherry red kind of
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Because
that like
I ended up
pinkish reddish thing.
right because I made sure I put it in my piece for Martian Toys. I just couldn't remember which color I did put on there. All right. But now we are going to be doing the yearly public service announcement that I like to do on Paint Club, and actually I'm going to expand it a little. So now, in certain parts of the country, it's freezing temperatures. My certain parts of the country, and if you're like me and you spray paint outside, chances are you've got your cans outside. Now is the time to bring your cans inside.
Yes.
So if you're cold, they're cold. Bring them in. Figure out a safe place to store them. But if you don't, they may be garbage next spring. Like I've been lucky with sometimes with the cans that I do leave out there that nothing happens to them, but I have had some cans get fucked up, and when you have a $15 can of primer that fucks up, you have nobody else to blame. But I had nobody else to blame but myself because I didn't feel like hauling it in. So like
I literally brought all of the ones that like I knew were like good in. I all the ones that like had anything left in them, threw those out, brought them to the recycling center. But like the other day, it was this. I was priming it, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's so fucking cold!" And I like, just brought them. I just started bringing them all inside because it was like the first day it was under 40. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like it was out of nowhere, like 60 something during the day. And I was like,
yeah. So now it's like there's Rick's PSA for the now I'm going to expand the PSA because now it's cold enough inside to where we're going to have changing temperatures inside and air pressure. And if you're like me, or if you're not, that's fine. But like one of my containers I like to use are squeeze bottles or eyedropper bottles for your paints, right? And if you take a little squeeze on this, I'm gonna do it. Look, I got my white palette, and then you let go, and then all of a sudden you're gonna have like extra paint squeezing out of this because the pressure inside is built up enough to where that's all it wants to do is go out. So it's going to as the air wants to leave, it's going to prematurely discharge a lot, and that's annoying as fuck. So
no, that's what she said. Sorry.
It is. I mean, because it just
I never get to do that.
When they're moist and ready to go, don't want it to
I deserve it. I deserve it.
My suggestion is like, and the bad thing is like these shitty bottles, like you start opening up that, it'll just keep going and going and going, right? Even if you tamp it down, there's still plenty of paint in the nozzle to fuck it up. So before you start squeezing out your bottles, shake them up and squeeze them out. My professional and penny pinching advice to you is the loving audience is to burp your vessel, so that like on these bottles, if I just unscrew it, that's enough change in pressure to not have that just constantly ooze out like an excited 17-year-old in the back seat of a Volkswagen.
Oh my god!
And on these guys, on these things, you just you open up that dropper, and then that's your burp in it, and then you're not going to have that issue for that paint session. So like that's the problem when it gets hot and cold in your house. That's going to be to me, it's a constant battle because of the amount of fluctuation that my house does. So like my house gets to anywhere between 72 to 62 degrees during the course of the day. So that air pressure fucks with So that constant change in temperature does fuck with how squeeze bottles work. And
do you like lower the heat in the house?
oh yeah, at night the heat gets lowered, or like if we're not home, we do lower the temperature.
Oh hell no.
Especially like when we're both working during the day, we lowered it. We let the temperature get a little cooler because like we're not home, and the dogs are okay with the somewhat cooler temperature.
I
So
am so fucking spoiled because like if
That's
my ass
fine.
is cold by the time like if it's cold when I get home, I'm like absolutely not.
Well,
Like I am
that's
such a
fine, but you know,
I'm such a cranky little shit.
and that's fine. You can, and so like, but you didn't keep the temperature up to where to prevent you being a crybaby while you were gone. So your
Yes,
paints
I
are going to
did.
suffer. You did. So
Oh,
okay.
my house is always at least 70. Right
Well
now it's
then,
probably 73.
well then, fine. You get to be the outlier to the solution to the problem I have. But like all my
But my basement's not cold.
so
Is
like
not
yeah, so
always
all
warm,
my
so that's a
paints
problem.
all my paint bottles get burped before I use them, or you end up just getting way more discharge than you absolutely need. And nobody's got time for that.
No. I do have like now that it's getting cold,
I'm
I'm
with you,
probably
man. I like 68 degrees before I go to bed, so I can like have all the blankets layered on top and be weighty.
okay. So when
That's
I go to
just the
bed,
way it is.
it's like 70 like one when I go to bed, but I'm always cold. I'm very cold all the time. I run hot and then I run cold. It's very strange. Um, like in the summertime, I run very hot, but in the winter, I'm fucking freezing. And like but for paint, like when I'm priming, the the basement, because it's an old house, it's fucking cold, it's damp, and it's like I have to start making like a conducive environment with humidifiers and heaters because it's the only place I can prime now. And during the summer, I obviously have like the outside. Sorry, the wind is blowing really bad, and I'm pretty sure my greenhouse is about to like fly up in the air and like do some like stabby on someone's shit. I could hear it.
Oh, that's
Sorry, I just like looked out the window because I
dude.
heard like flap, and I was like, oh no. That's the sound of the greenhouse. Like I've heard it. I've heard that sound before. I haven't pulled that inside for the season yet.
Yeah. So like, because like I paint in the basement, and the basement's probably 10 degrees cooler than everywhere else in the house. And if I turn in and like the paints do fine because like I always like they get burped anyway before I put them in an airbrush, no matter what time of year. But like if I put a space heater on before I go down there, and I don't take care of my paints, and when I start opening up lids, bloop bloop bloop, it's just like more excitement than a high school band camp.
Now, how do you burp them?
Well, on these bottles, I will unscrew them, let them open.
That's a part of teaching.
And that's that, right? So that's how that would get burped. So for a dropper bottle, it's a little messier. If you're like me, you clean the nozzles way better than this, and then you just open up the nozzle, or you don't have to. You can just open that, and then you just give it a couple squeezes without paint in there. It's like you make sure the paint is all the way down, and you're just giving it a couple squeezes to make sure like the change in temperature is there. Then when you shake it up, you should be good to go, right? But you just want to change the air pressure inside, and so just opening it up as much as possible. Like these things from Liquitex, they just screw open, and all of a sudden, boom, changed.
Oh, I know.
And that's the way it is.
As they just did that with those.
But like the squeeze bottles I use downstairs, the opening for the paint is like it's almost a quarter of an inch. So I almost have no problem with those because they're so fucking big that even if I didn't Yeah, even if I didn't do anything to them, there's enough space in that opening that nothing decides to just continuously flow like a teenage volcano. Um, but like when I'm up here, the one big advantage to shitty paint pots like this is that like they don't, you just flip them open and there it is, paint's there. Um, it's just I don't like those pots as much because like there you have to go digging, you have to grab a different brush to scoop out paint to put on a palette because I don't want to be dipping directly in there because over time that'll dry out. You don't want that. You want to keep your paint consistent, blah blah blah. So yeah,
Blah, blah,
so I have a
blah.
love-hate relationship with almost every manufacturer's paint, how they decide to deliver paint.
Tubes are my least favorite.
Oh, I think tubes are the best. So like, here's how you prevent a tube. So you get a tube like this, because we all love the fucking big tubes. So tubes are the best. What you do, you put your hand like this, make sure it's nice and dry and not moist, and then you tamp your tube down like that, just to make sure all the paint is
So what
little
happens
farther.
when it's tiny?
Well, then this is what you do. You grab the little tiny paint, and then you get your tiny hands, and you go like this, and you tamp it. And then when you open it, your shit should be farther away from the lid. Now, I have not opened this tube of gouache in months. So, live action, you guys got to see. I gave it a little tamp, opened it up in front of you. That's what it looks like. It's a little bubbly. And now, this one's a metal tube, so I will gently squeeze from the bottom to get whatever I want out of there. Or,
okay, that's my next question. What if it's metal? Thank you.
Or, and here's the real kicker. You can get yourself a shitty synthetic brush, and instead of squeezing out the tube, take your shitty synthetic brush and just go digging in and pull out a dollop with your shitty brush to put it on your palette. So no squeezing needed to deform the case. Then with your shitty brush, wash it off. You just sacrifice a little bit of paint from the shitty brush, but you wipe off as much on your palette, and that's what you do there. And you can also do the same thing with the plastic ones, because this is the big old honking tube that Liquitex sells, and my shitty brush, that still fits right on in there. Now, that's tube management.
I have a very expensive like gold paint that it's like $25, and I love it, but I hate it. It's like a love hate because it does the premature, like as if it's no one's, as if it doesn't have anything better to fucking do, basically. As if its sole purpose is to like use it.
So it's a 15-year-old boy that has nothing better to do than leak.
Exactly. Like it's literally, I feel like its sole purpose is just to bother you. Like a 15-year-old boy.
That can also be a point in time where if you don't like the way a manufacturer does something, but you like their product, it's always nice to reach out to them and very.
No, I sent them an email very like
constructively
the day I got it.
Say, hey, this stinks.
Because I know like Colin uses it too, and he loves it too. And I was like, how do you get it from like doing that? And he's like, yo, I hate that. And I'm like, so I'm not alone. That's good to know at least.
So then the other solution for you can be to do what I fucking hate when people recommend this, especially when they're like, oh, I don't like this brand's bottle, so I just decant it all into such and such another vessel. And I'm like, that's a big fucking waste. My personal opinion.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
But you can always do that. You can always like these are my so flats, right?
I'll try to tap it first.
So these are my so flats. And it's not like I hate the jars that the so flats come in, but I like these better. And so I did pour every one of my so flats into this, and they are a little thinner than what's in a so flat because you pour it all out there. There's still plenty of paint in the around the walls of the jar and stuff. So I ended up squirting like a little bit of water. Let's see, like let's say the
Oh, I'll do that. I'll do high flow medium, and then I'll shake the shit out of
so
it.
I'll put a little water in there, shake the hell out of it, and also put a glass or plastic bead in there or a dunny arm and shake it up in there, and then pour the rest in there. So this has a little extra liquid to it, but at the same time, like I always add water to my paint at the beginning, so like I know it's just slightly thinned, so it's just a little more moist than it normally would be, and that's okay. So yeah, and then the jars, like if they come out clean enough, I might use them for something else. Um,
Do you
so
remember my technique of the week from like a year and a half ago? What I do? I
you
clean them
put
out with
what?
rubbing alcohol, and I put new mixed colors in them.
Oh, there you go. That's perfect.
Because it just
That's
like
perfect.
after it washes out, there's like a ring or like the skin or like even just a little. I'll put a little rubbing
Mhm.
alcohol, let it sit in there. I'll shake it
Yeah,
up. Sometimes I'll put
that's
salt in it
perfect.
because it'll actually like clean it out better,
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
rubbing alcohol. And
Mhm,
that's my old bong cleaning tricks. And
mhm.
I just reuse it for other colors. Like if I'm like, oh, you know what, I really really like this shade that I made, because like I have like this little tray that has like the small ones, but if I mix
Yeah.
a lot, I'm right in that small one. When I did like the rainbow painting, the bully, I had
Mhm.
just like tons of like empties of these just everywhere of the mixed colors that I showed you of like all of the rainbows afterwards, because I was like, I need them. I need more of them. I'm gonna reuse
Yeah.
them.
No, it's perfectly viable. Or like I save the caps to my water bottles. Not all the time, because if I did, I would have way too many of them. But on occasion, I will save them because down in the basement. Um, when I'm airbrushing, sometimes like I really like a color and I know that I'm going to go from one step to another, and I'm going to want to revisit the color that I've got, or I've just mixed too much of it for that one moment, and I'm going to go, and again I'm going to go back to it within that same paint session. So I pour it into the cap of a water bottle, and
Mm.
it's a very temporary storage solution where when I'm done or when I'm time to use it again, I just dump it back into the pod of the airbrush, and I might use one of these to just give it a little squirt to get the rest of it out. And yeah, like that's a great cheap way to just have like a vessel on hand that all you need to do is just hold like 20 drops of paint. Um, sometimes I use pill bottle lids, even though that's not the best. But I keep my pill bottles way more than anything else. I don't have the most amazing hacks for what to do with a pill bottle, but like they keep toothpicks in little
Random
parts.
shit.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
it's
I
just
got a pill bottle from you. It had all of the things for our sign.
there you go.
You know what that
Yeah.
reminds me of? It reminds me of when my stepdad, because he used to work with like photography and stuff. It reminds me
Mhm.
of when he used to bring the film capsules, like
Oh yeah.
containers home, and he would use those for like quarters, for like
Oh yeah.
whatever.
My dad always kept those, and my dad kept the metal ones, and then I ended up
Yes.
taking his metal ones, and then I ended up selling the metal ones on eBay because I was like, "Well, you hoarded the hell out of these, and I don't need all of them." So
Oh my god, speaking of selling things, because this is just random. This is
mhm.
totally random. So, I went to Sweeney Todd yesterday,
How
and
was it?
I loved it. I mean, but I also liked I saw the movie when I was like 17 when it came out, so I loved that. And I was like, I had a feeling I was
What
just gonna love
movie?
this too. Sweeney Todd.
Okay.
Tim Burton, Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah.
Helena Bonham, Alan Rickman, all
Gotcha.
them. Yeah. So I remember seeing that when I was like 17, and I loved the movie. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna love the play, like the actual thing it's about. And we got the the backup for Josh Groban, who's playing Sweeney right now. But he still was great. You know, he plays Pirelli usually, the Italian barber. So like, you know, he's part of the main cast. So like, he wasn't going to be like a shitty singer. But the woman who plays Lovett, chef's kiss, chef's fucking kiss.
Okay.
She's brilliant. So I can't say anything about Groban since I didn't see him. But when I opened the playbill, there's my cousin's fucking play right there being advertised. And I was like, bro, are you kidding me? Because I've been talking about this play with Jen's sister for like weeks about how I couldn't remember the goddamn name of it, like off the top of my head. I was like, it's something Danny. And I kept saying like Danny, something about Danny. And I'm thinking of something about Mary. And like it just like it wasn't clicking. And I said something like, I was like, Danny and the Deep Blue Sea. And she goes, that's not the name of it. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And it is Danny and the Deep Blue Sea. But I opened it and I was like I was bugging the fuck out. So I'm like, I really wish I could see it because it was like God bless him, but it's like $244 when I kept checking for like one seat. And I'm like, absolutely, I love you, but absolutely not.
Right.
And so she goes, I found a seat that's $77. And I was like, you're fucking lying. So I buy it. Went out on the train going back to Long Island to get my car last night. And it was only one seat, so I felt bad because like she totally would have gone with me, but like fuck it, I'm going to see my cousin. And it's on Black Friday, so it's this Friday. And then I thought about how like, oh no, I'm going to the city on Black Friday. But it's in the Village, so I don't have to go to Broadway, thank the Lord. And then I look today, it's all sold out. Every one of the shows is sold out now. And I'm so proud of him for it because it was only a 10-week stint, but him and like Aubrey, like, they sold the whole thing out. Everything, all the ones that were $244, gone. I go on StubHub to see, you know what, is there a seat that like maybe I can get Jen's sister like nearby that's like, even if it's like 100, the tickets on the day I'm going are selling for $3,000.
Well, those people have way more money.
I bought mine for $77.
But you thought she was lying to you. No. And don't you feel bad for thinking she lied to you now that you got a 75% deal?
What do you mean?
Well, like, okay, well, maybe my math is a little off, but like, you got a $75 ticket, and now they're like $300 or more.
The other seats.
And you thought she was lying to you, and now you got like the great fucking ticket, right?
Well, because when I was looking at it, like I was in the line to go to the bathroom during intermission, and I was like, oh, let me look because this is a sign to look, check to see if there's tickets that are not so expensive, even though you looked a bunch of times. And I looked, and they were $244. And when we were on the train, she's like, I see one for $77. I'm like, am I like insane? Am I insane? So my dad's like, you better sell that shit. And like there's other dates that are selling for like 600 or whatever, which is still insane. And he's like,
I suppose if you want to make some quick
buy a $600 ticket. Yeah, he's like, sell the 3,000 and buy the 600. And I'm like, that is wild. That is like, kudos to him. Bravo.
Your dad's not wrong, but like, yeah, if you need some holiday money, that's.
I was more mad at like his dad because his dad's flying up from Miami to see the play. And I was like, bro, because he's my godfather also. And I was like, you don't fucking invite me to see the fucking play? You
got a lot of godfathers in this world, don't you?
I have one.
Okay.
Just one. Just him.
Just one. All right.
I have 3 godmothers, which is funny because I was baptized twice two different types of churches. The first one was him and his wife, so my cousin and then the husband. And then at my Catholic one, it was my grandmother and my aunt.
I'm with David here. Like, I'd sell my ticket too.
I texted him. I actually texted him, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna see you! Like, I'm really excited. Like, can I say hi? Like, before or after? Like, I'm assuming after is easier." And he read it, but he didn't answer me, and I responded back to that going, "Oh, you put me on red, you piece of shit." That was literally my text after. I was like, "You put me on red."
See there, it's like that's a reason to sell it because you don't like being an on red thing. So it's just like, sorry, I'm out. Peace out.
Do you remember he came to see us at the booth?
Yes.
And I was all like emotional because I hadn't seen him in so long, and like he started on Broadway, so I was like,
"That was very sweet."
I want to see it. Yeah, I'm excited
for $75. Why not?
Yeah, right. I'm gonna drive down there probably because I don't have to like go to Broadway. So instead of taking the train, I'll just drive down there. Maybe I'll stop at what is it, My Plastic Heart on the way home.
Yeah, go for that. Like,
spend some Black Friday money.
What's the date?
It's Black Friday, the 24th.
Okay, well, lots of people are going to be busy. Yeah, you might as well go to My Plastic Heart. Why not? Just get out of the way of their sale because everybody needs a sale that day.
I have store credit for there, so I'll buy stuff.
Oh, there you go. Like, everybody who's has Black Friday business is going to be fucking busy. I'm gonna try
to support the store.
We're all
and the play is not as long as Sweeney Todd, from what I read, and I was like, thank God, because it's only 80 minutes, and Sweeney Todd was very, very, very long.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Go say hey to people. That's like the best part, especially like, I don't know. Like if I lived in your area, like I wouldn't be, I don't know how much traveling I'd do, but I would do more. I would do some, like whether it's going to like a monthly event somewhere, like lots of people, like it's clear you got people in the area to do like, what do you, I don't know. What's the tri-state area? Is that New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania?
New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Okay.
Connecticut is both New England and the tri-state, and then New Jersey is both the tri-state and the Atlantic or mid-Atlantic, because that's Pennsylvania.
Okay. And does Pennsylvania get to be involved in any of them?
Yeah, that's mid-Atlantic.
Or be included? Okay. So yeah, like you live in an area to where, like, to me, road tripping for 3-4 hours is nothing.
Oh, know I'm about it. You know I'm about it.
So like, and I know tolls get in everybody's way. So that's probably why I'd limit myself to once a month. But yeah, dude.
Tolls.
Nah, dude. Sometimes tolls are annoying. And I see your point from like, I guess a year or two ago where you were like, God dang, I have to spend this much money to go to Martian Toys. Yeah, I can see that. Like that. It's a hell of a point.
What? New Jersey, PA, and Delaware is called Mid-Atlantic. That is not called tri-state. We're not calling every 3 states tri-states.
All right.
now we're gonna argue. This is like me and my friend who argue like what's upstate New York versus like not upstate New York, and is Rochester upstate? And they're like, no, it's West New York, and I'm like, do I have to go north?
Well,
that is upstate.
There you are. Nicole's the cartographer in this duo here. So
no, David, no.
It's our 3-state area. Oh, okay, cool.
I don't care what your 3-state area is.
Like, I was assuming that it was Pennsylvania, but like, and also I'm going to
Mid-Atlantic.
But I'm going to chastise, and not just you or anybody else that I've met that's from that area. I'm just going to say that whole area. Like, I'm a big Big fan of Frank Frazetta. Okay, you know who he is, Nicole, or was?
No, but now
Because
I
he's
want to know
gone.
who it is.
Frank
Because you
Frazetta
can
was
yell no all you want.
a fantasy painter. Really good. All right, I'm going to Conan. The old pulp Conan images was probably that are in your mind, probably made by Frank Frazetta. If not,
Oh,
Fire
okay,
and Ice,
okay.
the movie Fire and Ice. Um,
That's
Ralph
it.
Bakshi and Frank Frazetta did that. Frank Frazetta is an amazing, the Death Dealer,
Okay, I know.
which is
Okay,
probably
I
one of his
know.
most famous characters, and also like Kid Robot made a Dunny based on that a while ago, which like
Yeah, that's why I
a,
know what that
a,
is.
a great combination of wonderful details and smooth and dumb. And but I'm a big fan of Frank Frazetta. I did not, and I'm going. I did not know that there was a Frank Frazetta museum in Pennsylvania until 2 3 weeks ago, and it has been open forever.
What? Where is it in
And
Pennsylvania?
I'm not sure. I know that I've when leaving 5 Points, I'd be able to hit it up on the way out, and that's kind of my big disappointment is I've been to 5 Points in Brooklyn and Pennsylvania a lot in the past 6 years, and I had no fucking clue this museum existed. Had no clue a museum of Frank Frazetta existed, and I have passed by it multiple times within an hour of passing by it, and there's no way that if I knew it was there, I wouldn't have at least gone once. So I'm incredibly disappointed in all the people that I know and all the people who think they know me. Never told me that there is a Frank Frazetta
Well, if I
museum
knew it was there, I
there.
would have.
Like, and that's what everybody else has said. So
Well,
like,
if I knew who it
and
was, I also would have.
so it is kind of it is you can yell no all you want. So it is kind of it's like my art and toy friends do not know me as well as they
Oh,
think because they
cut the shit.
and or they just don't know that that's there. And then it's also disappointing because that fucking museum people don't know about it, and that's the biggest disappointment. It's like I would have fucking gone more than once. It's like if there was a Salvador Dali museum between here and Brooklyn, and I never knew about it, I'd be equally disappointed that I'd never been there because of opportunity. Having the opportunity to go by and never see it. So I'm like, guys, I may not be on the East Coast for another fucking year. So it means like, like so that being said, like and I'm going to assume I sound like a spoiled bitch because I don't like or a spoiled brat because I'm like, why didn't anybody tell me? But at the same time, why didn't anybody tell me? Like I
Because
never
no
knew to
one knew.
I never knew I never thought about looking up the idea of a fucking museum like this. And it exists. So that being said, of me being bitchy and sounding like it's an East Stroudsburg, yeah, that's not bad from Brooklyn. Thank you, David. Yeah, I didn't. I knew that leaving from Brooklyn it wouldn't be bad, and in
Sure, I'll
some
go with you.
and as the counterpoint to this, like there are times where I intentionally left Brooklyn to go further down the East Coast to see other things because I knew
Yes,
those
you have.
attractions were there. But if I knew that was there, I would have made the plans to go that way. So, yeah. Um, so that's definitely on the list of places to go next time I go to 5 Points or um, a show there is to make sure I get to hit up the Frank Frazetta Museum
Well,
just
I'll
under
go with
2 hours
you.
away. But like and so um this past year I ended up leaving 5 Points after getting a meal with some of the folks in our that were in our area or there because I like Reb, Bunny Mischief, Lawson Creatives, and I know I'm missing a couple guys, JFO, um, and
That's right. I was
I
being a
left,
crabby baby and I went home.
but I left the event to go straight home, and I stopped somewhere in Pennsylvania that night. But man, I guess I would have only driven 2 hours to get to Stroudsburg, and then fucking drive the rest of the way the next day. Because I know I didn't get far from Brooklyn after I left at 8 o'clock that night, and I know I stopped in Pennsylvania because I was home the next day. I just hauled ass and drove 16 hours the second day to get home.
I remember when you texted me. I was like,
so that's cool. And yeah, I've never seen a Frank Frazetta piece live.
Okay, so we're gonna go.
So it would have been a treat, to say the least. And
anybody who knows me knows I'm down to do that. I'm down to just get up and go places. And most people I know are not. And a lot of people around here are very anti going anywhere because it takes time to go anywhere. And I'm like, what?
No. Yeah. So no, I've always been like that. So, yeah. And my appreciation started in college because we were always when in college they're always like, oh, grab an old master so you can paint this or you can paint that. So I always grabbed Frank Frazetta stuff, and the first time I did it, my painting professor was like, the syllabus says you should be painting an old master. I'm like, but he fucking paints the same way. It's just he's a modern master. I like his subject matter more than the other fucking most. I don't want to paint Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
If you grab an old master, chances are there's going to be some fucking biblical thing on it. I'd rather paint a fantasy dude and learn the same techniques, if not get a little extra bump in his color theory than what the old masters were doing. So after being told, well, that's not an old master, and my next assignment, I ended up grabbing a Rembrandt. Rembrandt was fun because he would do normal things, and so one of his more famous paintings is a slaughtered ox carcass that's just hanging in a barn being cured, and so that's what I grabbed. I was like, fine, it's all the right technique, and it's and then Phil's like, when I ask for people to do old masters, it's because I want them to learn how to do the facial the face and the anatomy, right? And by the time
you didn't say that,
and I'm like, hey man, Phil, I did Frazetta's anatomy. That's cool, but you wanted an old master. I grabbed an old master.
If you wanted anatomy, you should have been very specific.
I never painted Jesus Christ. Because then the next time we had this exchange, I was like, Phil, can we compromise on Salvador Dali?
Oh my god.
I
think if I had to ever do Jesus Christ, I would do it from Jesus. I would just purposely do the version of Jesus Christ from Jesus Christ Superstar just to be annoying.
No, if no, that's just been my goofy view of well, every fucking old master is about let's see.
Just if anybody ever said, can you paint me Jesus, I would specifically do that one just to be annoying. You never said what kind.
No, if ever I had to do a true old master of that had a religion. It's not you have to do it because it's a religious image or a religious.
It was just kind of the thing back then, though.
It's just yeah, that's always the thing. So if I ever had to,
that's also because a lot of the art was commissioned by the church.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't, it was you were a heretic or you were a fucking witch or some kind of crazy shit.
So if ever I had to do an old,
that.
So this is my epitome of what the crucifixion of St. Peter should look like.
I like that.
So this is by Caravaggio. I fucking love Caravaggio. He's an amazing painter. there's a lot of things wrong with this painting. But there's a lot of things that he gets right. So so in a lot of the interpretations of the crucifixion of St. Peter, he's upside down. And when you turn the human face upside down, it does not become recognizable. Okay. So he solves that problem. But the big problem of this painting is that they're all wearing contemporary clothing from Italy. So that would be like me wearing Junkos and wanting to have a nail gun to help put them up. So the problem with
it's kind of funny.
you quote me on that. So the problem with the crucifix with showing St. Peter's, when he's upside down, you can't recognize the face. So he solves that by having it in progress. It's not, he hasn't been crucified yet. You can see that he's in mid crunch trying to get a last word out. And Peter's fucking ripped here. Look at those abs, right? But his face is almost, or is not down. It's still incredibly recognizable because it's still up. And it's amazing that way. So, yeah.
You know that, because I couldn't remember which it was, so I had to Google it really quickly. Because I was saying about like the church and all that. It was Cosimo de' Medici when he was Pope. Wait, was he Pope? Before he was Pope, because he wasn't Pope. No, he was when he was whatever the hell his fucking job was during the de' Medici. You get it. He spent over 600,000 florins, which is $500 million if we inflate adjust it.
Okay.
He did Donatello's David. And I forgot what the rest of them were, but I remember that was like one of the biggest, like biggest thing that he did was David.
Okay.
And
commissioning that.
Yeah, and like people were like, "What is that? I don't understand." So he had like one of the largest libraries. He also had like Three Wise Men painting, I guess. He hired Michelozzi. Who the fuck is that? Michelozzo? I guess he's an Italian architect and sculptor. I don't know. He created the typical palazzo. Like he constructed and designed what a palazzo is. Like he was like the biggest like arts and like person there, but it was all under like the with the money of like for God. It was to honor God. Like everything was to honor God. Like this whole thing here even says like the family fortune and enrichment of the Renaissance was to, and I quote, "All things that have been given to me, the greatest satisfaction and contentment is to the honor God and the likewise of my own remembrance of him."
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So it's like it's crazy that like most of our like our old like medieval like art that we like, you know, obviously Michelangelo is a fucking thing of Jesus on the goddamn ceiling, but you know, like when it comes to things like that, it's like it's just crazy when you think about it. It's like all of it was like done for the church by the church, and if the artists didn't do it or didn't do it right, they were fucking killed. And like there's so much like murder and heresy and all this shit behind art back in the days. Back in the days, Rick and I would have been hung, drawn, and quartered.
No, I'd just be a craftsman somewhere. But yeah,
so hung, drawn, and quartered because I'm a woman who makes art. So
yeah, you'd be a heretic. But yeah, so like you know, I like, but and it was interesting. Like with my experiences with Phil, it was very much like I don't want to ever do any like religious iconography if I don't have to, you know, like, and being able to have like the protest gestures of doing stuff that isn't, and having the meaningful conversation after two clear displays that I don't want to. And it's not like, and my grade never got reflected on, well, you didn't do this. And it's like, well, how good does that side of meat look like? So I never got penalized for it, but it was like, I got to have some conversations. So when I ended up going into printmaking, and of course, that's like the fucking beginning of every like discipline. Is like find an old master or an artist that inspires you, so you can do this to get inspiration from. So by the time I got to printmaking, um, I was pretty fucking done with doing all that, and so of course printmaking one professor wants you to do that. So I grabbed Dr. Seuss because his assignment said grab an artist. So I grabbed Dr. Seuss, and yeah, it was well received, and that's all I could ask for. So
I like that.
yeah, thank you.
I have to show you some
Right.
of the paintings that were hung up at Jen's service, because they had a lot of her
Yeah.
like from when she was at Pratt, and
Okay.
I was like, like it was such a nice like to see like the different, like just a different
Yeah.
style of her, like brain and gory. So they had some of the Friends art like all over on display, and I think there was like two or three pieces of yours on display, and I took a picture. I was like, I gotta show Rick. I keep forgetting to send them to everybody. Like I was trying to remember to take pictures of like who I knew would really like to see like their stuff there. And it was like she had some really cool shit, and it was nice to like
Yes,
to
she
see
does.
some.
Yes, she
It
did.
was nice to see some funky ass shit at a funeral home that's
Right
usually
on.
like full of Jesus stuff. And instead, like especially because her paintings were just as like fucked in the head as like her sculpting is, so it was like,
Yeah,
I love this. It was just like,
that's
like it
cool.
wasn't a religious ceremony, but it's like, a funeral home is usually a religious thing. And it was just super fun to see all
Nah,
these like
nah.
I gotta send you those pictures because it was actually kind of
Yeah, I
cool.
would love to see those. I'd like to see the whole thing. Like, it was cool. That's cool. Like, you know, she will be deeply missed. There's no doubt
Yes,
about that. Um, yeah,
very much so.
yeah. She was a wonderful friend, great supporter, and a fine creative mind. And yeah, like,
We have your two, or I have your two. Either I have
mhm.
them or they still have them. I think the customs they still have most of them. I took a few of Colin's customs because like I'm doing them in batches, like the things, because it's a lot. It's a lot. But your
Hey, dude,
money's
you have some of my pup pups, and I need them for the. I need those. Like,
for your Christmas
uh,
thingy.
yeah, yeah, I need them.
Send me your address. Text me your address.
Okay.
Um, she had two of like your ramens there. Your money's calling was there,
Oh
like
yeah.
at the service, and I can't remember what else, but I remember like your style is obvious, and even Ray was like, "That's Rex."
She does have so Jen. So like the cool thing that you're selling stuff for Ray.
Yeah.
Jen has a world eater that I painted that is by Motley Miscreation. It is a resin piece, and it's big. It's like 9 inches tall, and
I'll tell her sister to look
it's
out for
it's
it.
it's blue. It's very metallic blue and pink and yellow. But it's kind of like it fits her style. It's a mechanical and anthropomorphic mechanical bunny with organs, exposed organs, at least in the front, because it was painted red and yellow, red and pink on the inside, so it has that glow.
Mm,
But it should it's a desirable and it's a desirable platform to the Motley Miscreation folk, um, and it's kind of obscure, which makes it
even
more
more wanted.
wanted. And like some people have just an unpainted version. Jen did not. So
There's also a lot of stuff that like obviously I'll talk to you about like when we get to it, that are like pieces, like dunny pieces, or just like things like parts that
mhm.
like she wants to like that Michelle wants to make sure that like artists have, and I was like, oh, Rick
Oh,
loves
sure.
parts.
Oh, I
Rick
do.
loves
I
parts.
just sold a shit ton of magnets that are were cast resin hearts.
No, not hearts, parts.
Parts. Oh, parts. Parts are good too.
Yeah, I was like, Rick loves parts.
I do.
So there's just lots of stuff, but it
The
was.
best
I
part
mean,
about parts is using them so they don't
that's what
clog up.
we. That's what she was saying. Like, let's get them into people's hands who can use them. And I was like, and you were definitely like one of the first people I thought of, because I was like, Rick, you use things, you've given me things that like are from things. It's yeah.
Yeah, I try.
And like
Yeah, yeah.
we kept looking at everything, and this is how Ray was describing everything. She'd pick it up and go, "Is this a book?" And I'm like, "A book?" Like, thinking like money, she's talking about like, "Oh, is it a book? Like a checkbook?" And she's like, "No, is this a textbook? Will this get me a textbook when I go to college?"
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, textbooks are expensive.
And I was like, I hate, but I love that that's how, instead of like, how much for my bank account. She looked at it because she wants everything she knows, and she wants it all for college. Like, that's what it's for anyways. It's going to literally a college fund, but she even is looking at it like in that sense too.
That's
And like,
cool.
I know for fucking 16-year-olds, that's like, to me, that's just mind blowing how mature that girl is.
That's cool.
And
That's
I
very
love
cool.
it. It was so cool, like that. She was like, "Will this buy me a textbook?" I'm like, "How much are textbooks now?" Then yes, like each one was just like a
Well,
yes, no, maybe half of
the,
one, a quarter of one, if you rent that
her,
one.
the world leader that she has should get her at least 2 textbooks.
That that was just like a
I'm
fun way of
like,
describing things.
no, that's great. No, that's wonderfully practical from a
Because
kid we
the
all learn.
GoFundMe, you have to pay 13% tax at the end of the
Oh,
year
so
on the
GoFundMe ended up
total.
also. So like GoFundMe got more money from me than I was giving, because I did not pay attention to them throwing an automatic tip in. But at the same time, it's our buddy for our buddy's kid. So Ray got a tip in it. And
Yeah.
so
So
like,
now, like, if people are like right now on the, before it goes up on like my website, like, there's like 2 people, they're helping me like figure out prices on stuff, because like I don't know everything, and like they're sending it to people who might buy it like ahead of time. They're like, oh, should they send it to
oh,
the
sure.
GoFundMe? I'm like, no, no
No.
more, no more. Go to especially because it's like they're big chunks of money. Like I think one piece was like
Yeah.
200, and I was like, send it to her on Venmo, please, God. Like the last thing she needs is to add that much again to her end of the year taxes again. Like it's just piling on tax money. And I'm like, that's crazy. 13%. That's crazy. Wow, that's so cute. I only
Yeah,
got the base of his body.
this is I've been working on this for a little bit. This is by George Sokusodits, who I don't know how to spell his last name. I'm almost certain I butchered how to say his first name. But if you search friends people I'm following on Instagram and type George and go with TS, you're going to find George Sokusodits, and he's out of Greece.
Like Greece.
He's from Greece. Not that he's out of Greece, as in like he needs more Greece. He's from Greece. Amazing sculptor, an amazing resin caster, and I love painting his stuff. So, yeah.
Can you send me his name?
Oh, sure.
So it would be cool if we did like a thing together, because I've started to get like a little obsessed with making little, like, not bookshelves like yours things, but like like a room, like a little mini room that looks like a bookshelf, like a actual bookshelf with mini books on it. We should do like a little like set together of something fun.
Okay.
Like next year or something like that.
Okay. I'll have to think about that.
A 2024 project.
I'm gonna put my thinking cap on. Yeah, yeah, of course. All right. Well, that being said, the coughing has started, and it's time to jump on the Benadryl train. So,
The Benadryl
train. Dude, yes, Benadryl's gonna be my friend tonight. So, anyway, well, because my nose, I almost said my moist is dry. My nose is dry, and
I fucking hate you so much. David doesn't know what's happening with that, so it's just even better that there's like now someone who has no idea.
Well, so
Hearing
apparently
my
David
cringe.
and Nicole does not like the word moist.
I'm allergic to it, I guess.
So yeah, so we're just sneaking that in whenever we can.
So much so that I kept just doing that.
And it's not like I'm going moist, but you know, moist. And so yeah, Nicole apparently doesn't like that. I don't know why.
Since everybody here follows me on Instagram and on Facebook and all that good stuff, I want ideas, like color ideas sent to me, because I'm also supposed to be painting what's it called? These like little angels. I don't know if anyone's ever been to church growing up. If you are like myself and a Reformed Catholic, you'll know what this is. It's an angel giving tree. A lot of places do it for Christmas. Like you pick a child or like an age or whatever, and you get them gifts, you know, for like people who don't have anything. And my church, like where I teach the kids like they drew them, and like they drew on them and they were super cute. But apparently, from what I've been told, the ugly ones don't get picked very much. And I was like, that's so sad, because like the kids all did it, and the kids are obviously not artists, so the kids like just drew them like whatever. So they handed me a bag, and they were like, "Can you paint these?" And I'm like, "Oh." That makes me so sad.
Just spin your color wheel and make some fucking colors.
No, I'm gonna make them like Batman, and like I'm gonna do some cool funky shit. So I just want some cool ideas from people. Like send me some fun ideas. That's not gonna make the church have like a, you know, clutch their chest kind of thing.
Just do what I do. Paint it all like Skeletor.
They'll all be like, I don't understand.
Actually,
I think the pastor might. He would laugh.
Skeletor is my go-to. If I don't have a good idea for a color scheme, I'm gonna fucking go Skeletor. And if I don't go Skeletor, I go 80s Transformers. Like, because I have the Wheel of Decision that's like fucking six Transformer color ways, and you just spin the fucking wheel and be like, there you go. Like Acast. So like, yeah. I fucking love it. And that's fun, because like you go on, you know, you can do a fucking little live stream, be like, I'm gonna do this, spin the wheel, hooray, all hail Megatron. And then you're just like, cool, I'm gonna paint this thing with 3 tones of gray and a black head. Why did I put Megatron in that group? Okay.
Because why not? It's 80s cartoon lore.
Like, but like I have like some of my favorite Transformers on there. I have
every person I know that's grown up in the 80s like you literally would do this. I for fact know that they would put the same weird things together and go, Transformers, Masters of the Universe. It's the same.
Fuck yeah. Like I have let's see, on that thing I have Grimlock, I have Soundwave, Devastator, Megatron, Ultra Magnus, and Starscream. I love painting things like Starscream. It's fucking rad.
I love you, Rick, so much. It hurts inside.
So like, yeah, just fucking do that. You get your own Transformers. You can't have mine. It's fucking go to town.
Transformers. You know, really? I actually used to have like a weird irrational fear that Transformers would come out of the water crossing this one bridge that goes to anybody who's from here knows it's not the Tappan Zee Bridge anymore, but the Tappan Zee Bridge. Is
it part of the Tri-State Bridge?
Yeah. It used to make me like just terrified. Like for what? Because one time my friend just said like, "Oh, watch a Decepticon's gonna come out of the ocean," and my dumb ass from then on looked at every kind of thing because they were constructing a new bridge next to that bridge, like the new one that's up there now. So my ass kept seeing the cranes in my fucking dumb imagination brain turning into fucking Decepticons, and I panicked for the year that they're building this bridge. And then the other bridge collapsed, and of course my dumb ass literally goes, fucking Decepticons. I was freaking
Shouldn't have fucked with
yes,
the
it's a weird fear,
Constructicons.
Dylan, but I'm pretty sure you could figure out how it's established. One of my friends convinced me that was something that, yep, we all know I'm gullible, guys. Let's not fucking start.
Oh, it happens. All right, so we're gonna cut it short so I can get on the Benadryl train. I don't know the train reference. Anyway, it's like I'm about to jump on the Transformer train reference. I don't have one. All right, we're gonna jump on that, and I'm gonna be a happy
Your
camper
cough
tomorrow.
is going to be transformed by the Benadryl.
Yeah. So I can have so I can have a drier setting instead of it being so. What rhymes with joist? Put it in the comments. All right, cool. Connie's scared of that Sanderson.
See?
There you go.
See?
All right, cool. So
something.
Everybody can find Nicole at the Mad Hattress right there. Everybody can find me over there. Rick Strode there. I'm everywhere. Hey, Cherry.
We stopped doing this? Really? No, yours.
Sweet. Look at that. We're conjoined.
No, yours. You weirdo.
You should high five. Look, you should high five. That'd be rad too. Perfect. Pa! Go Team Venture. All right, cool. We'll see you in December, everybody. Bye, Kevin.
Good
night.